Jelter Schunheim shows what he's got. Delicious.
Yeah, again, it's another good swing of the bat. Long levers, not trying to over. It's the fine nature of this game.
But this game, unforgiving.
You know you can't go back too far. And he actually held himself quite well.
Now Zishan Khan on to bowl. And he's got pumped down the ground. Jelter Schunheim shows what he's got. Delicious.
Yeah, again, it's another good swing of the bat. Long levers, not trying to overhit the ball. They're trying to hit it pretty straight. Just making sure he's going makes good contact. Let the timing do the rest.
This is the thing, of course, 50-metre rounders, you'll get your rewards, and Schunheim's getting more rewards here. A little too wide from Khan, who is feeling the pressure now. The pressure of Jelter Schunheim.
It's a belting name. Let's be honest, what a beautiful name. Jelter Schunheim.
Brings off the touch.
Just rips off, rolls off. Love it.
Swing and a miss from Schunheim.
That wasn't as pretty as the ones before. It's interesting that after you just mentioning how it's been so still and so hot, that breeze has just started to waft in. Coming from our right of, well, the left of screen, across the ground, which is pretty much the opposite to what it was yesterday.
So just for a, we'll come back to that. Schunheim facing Khan. And he's got a bit streaky here. Will be cut off though. Eugene Molian with the fielding, and I'm pleased to give him a shout out in a positive way because he dropped the catch that was really the only error from Svanholm in that ruthless first performance of the tournament. He passed through, and actually by total coincidence passed him on the way back to my hotel room last night, and he jokingly gave me a bit of jip about it. Sailor facing Khan. This is a single down the ground. He could clearly be maybe sent the clip of us discussing it with his mates. He said, I see the only, something along the lines of, I see the only shout out I got was the drop. But they brought him on early here to get the big wicket of Jelter Schunheim. Game well and truly on. VOC Rotterdam 4 down, and the favourites for the first time in this competition are under real pressure.
They are indeed. That's a very good delivery, nice and full. Jelter trying to go a little bit too much to the leg side. We'd seen him hit a 6 straight down the ground at the first ball, but if you look at this one, he's trying to hit it square and only manages to miss, and the terrible death rattle is all he's greeted with.
For those unfamiliar, to explain it to newbies, the death rattle is essentially the sound of the stumps being dislodged behind you. Simple as that.
Horrible sound if you're a batsman.
Absolutely. So Jelter Schunheim, whose day job is working in recruitment software when he's not hitting massive sixes, is gone. Over. Submunir on to bowl, and Submunir has got a wicket.
Wow.
This game is turning on its head, and VOC Rotterdam, the favourites, are now 5 down. Goodness gracious me, it is all happening here at the Rachel Hayhoe Flint Oval. Submunir, a guy you just can't keep quiet. The guy who said that he was his favourite player in his own squad. The guy that said he was the funniest player in his own squad. The guy who on his ECL debut provided a direct hit run out, and now, against the favourites of the competition, from his first ball, has thrown it full and wide, bowling to his field. The sweeper is picked out. And we know from what we already know.
Look at the celebration from the young man.
He was absolutely, he even blew a kiss up to our commentary boxes at our end of the ground and could hear the description. Who can blame him for enjoying the moment? The world is watching. Submunir loving every moment. And Peter Saylor, the Dutch international captain of head coach Ryan Campbell, who's next to me, is out.
Piers Fletcher.
There'll be a direct hit chance.
The big fella. Liked hitting sixes. He was good on there too. Came up here for a quick.
This was excellent value. It was fantastic to turn our 4th match of today into, as well as obviously giving the coverage that Brescia versus St Petersburg deserved. We're starting to preview this game, Rotterdam versus Svanholm, because it's the one that we were so excited about, and here's why. Saad Munir, desperate to show what he can do. Goodness me, he is doing it. Munir in the Danish T10 competition last year, 22 wickets at an average of 24, an economy rate of 6.5, which is very respectable indeed. He's bowling to Scott Edwards. Edwards goes conventional. He's a man known for the unorthodox, nicknamed the sweepologist.
Come on, the sweepologist, but to his mates, it's the creature. Don't let him get away with the sweepologist, because he loves the sweepologist. He hates the nickname, the creature.
Well, should we balance it out and mention both to the world?
Why not?
Let the world decide. Munir in again, really good from Saad Munir. Just ran his finger down that. And it was actually a little bit of an in-swinger, and had it got a bit more purchase off the pitch, it could have demolished the furniture.
Yeah, Pearce trying to hit that ball too hard there.
Speaking of characters, Piers Fletcher is certainly one of them. He said in his player profile that his strength is hitting massive sixes. Well, this would be a good time.
Well, they need a few. With what, 3 and a bit overs to go. 70, 69 or 70 now. The score, you'd think 110 they would require at least.
It feels like we've established at this ground that par is in that 120 region, so you need a bit of long levers. Can Fletcher give them that? There goes Fletcher. Well, he boasted he can hit massive sixes. That's big enough to get over these 50-metre boundaries. Fletcher off and running. VOC trying to push towards 3 figures. Recover from those early wickets.
Well, it was the length he was after. Nice swing of the bat. I get the feeling Pearce loves to hit over the leg side.
Fletcher goes again, Fletcher goes big. That's a clean strike. Good luck to the ball boys, that's out into the fan village at the back. He boasted that his strength was hitting massive sixes. Well, that was a big one. Never mind the 50-metre boundaries, that must have been 75 or 80. It's gone right out of this ground. Just not big enough.
He's happy, he's even giving us a little salute there. Making sure he had, look at that, held the pose too. It's a big hit.
Here's Fletcher, born in Nairobi from Auckland and now director of cricket at Sacred Heart College Boys School in Auckland. And finally getting his chance to bat in the ECL. And there he goes, bang bang, 6-6.
That's the danger of this format. You feel as a fielding side that you're going okay, and then 1 over, suddenly it goes bang bang bang.
James Fennick on to bowl from the Las Lomas end of the ground. The shadows left Fennick. No from Edwards. Run out at the bowler's end. And a hit from Saad Munir. And he had his second direct hit run out of the tournament.
He almost didn't want to throw that for some reason. Just as he's about to release the ball, it's almost like an afterthought. Oh, I better not throw this.
I think he actually maybe lost his balance. What we can see on the replay. Edwards shouts no. But by that point, the backing up has already started. It's this time gets this one away. 1 to the total. James Fennick on to bowl. He had a pretty nervous first over of the ECL, conceded 15, but then his second one in that opening match of the tournament was excellent.
Yeah, bounced back well.
And in the second game as well, he bowled through his couple of overs very impressively. Indeed, he's edged out Asad Shah for the seamer spot in this team. And it's a no ball from Fennick. It would have been a wide anyway. Fennick getting the opportunity as well because of those who aren't here. Hamid Shah, the Danish international captain, is injured. Saif Ahmed has got work commitments, and under-19 spinner Abdullah Mohammed is also unavailable. So 3 key attacking batsmen, 2 of those important spinners not here, and that's what's given Fennick this chance. No! And that's better, just on the right side of the tram lines. Exactly where you'd want it.
And I've no doubt that'll be a fine for Pearce. Not laying bat on ball on a free hit.
Yep, absolutely.
Has to be, surely.
I mean, I don't think it's a question of is it a fine. I think it's a question of how severe are you talking. Fletcher facing up. Fennick has just lost his rhythm a bit here, puts his hand up in apologies immediately. It is given as no ball. Free hit once more. James Fennick, a man who plays most of his cricket for the Svanholm second team often. recently moved to Denmark in November of last year. Played cricket in Cheam Cricket Club in Surrey before, where Mark Butcher and Ali Brown made their name. There goes Sailor. Fletcher, pardon me. Out of the ground. Not sure where I thought it was Peter Sailor, but it's Piers Fletcher, make no doubt about it. Third six for him. 18 of his 19 runs have come in sixes. So why bother running when you can hit it out the park?
Yeah, that's for sure. He does make good contact. But I will say, when he keeps his shape and doesn't try and hit the ball so hard, he hits it a lot further and makes good contact. Now that's made a change in the field now. As you can see, there's 3 players out, all pretty straight on the offside and 2 straight on the leg side.
And looking at protection from Fletcher, he doesn't get hold of that one.
Now it'll be interesting to see if they keep the same feel to Edwards, and I think there's going to be a change in that, because we know that Edwards likes to play the scoop and the ramp and the reverse and all those sort of things. So we see now that deep square is going back, fine leg, third man up. Look for a little bit of improvisation here from Edwards.
To Edwards, who tries something, and we don't appeal. It was a half-hearted one. One of those where the bowler half goes up and Abdul Hashmi, the keeper, wasn't interested, kind of gives him a look as if to say, mate, leave it.
Preacher, I don't reckon he's hit one off the square this tournament.
Yeah, the couple
can be his coach.
That's true. That is true. Netherlands head coach Ryan Campbell alongside me. Absolute pleasure to have your company. And if you've not been following the ECL all day on social media, you might be familiar with not just the sensation that is Pavel Florin, but what's more, the fact that a certain Shane Warne has been tweeting about this competition in response to the Pavel Florin situation. He re-quote tweeted, is the technically correct term, a tweet from Dimi Mascarenas talking about all of this. And Shane Warne not only talked about he was 100% behind Pavel Florin and his passion for the game, he said that he was keen to get involved in ECL 2020. Well, Shane, if you're watching, it would be great to have you up in the commentary box with us. As that is wayward. Abdul Hashmi does well there just to get anything on that. Keeps it to 2 ones. We're just coming back to Shane Warne. It's certainly the kind of moment that walking all around this ground and all around the teams of dozens and dozens of volunteers across all aspects that have brought this competition together. It's a kind of moment like that that seems to make it all worthwhile for everyone. As again, Ahmed has just lost his line. You have so many people and been privileged to be part of it across the last week who've actually been here at the Lamanga Club Resort for 7 to 10 days now, setting all of this up. And when you get a moment like that where an icon of the game recognises what the ECL is trying to bring, it really does change things. As there goes Edwards. Edwards making a star of himself at this ECL. We haven't seen him in a long innings with the bat, but maybe he can provide a cameo here that's the difference between 130 or 110.
Yeah, absolutely. It is required, that's for sure. Got, what, just a tick under 2 overs to go. They must, 130 I think they were going to require, I would have thought. It's going to be out. Down the leg side, and he is. He's gloved it. Moving down across his stumps. A ball that was down the leg side. He's tried to hoik that over. Short, fine leg. And he's only gloved it and he's gone his way.
And it's another wicket that goes down. It's been a really good game, this. Very even. And as soon as VOC have seemed to seize control, back of comes Van Hong and vice versa. Off goes Scott Edwards. Just 8 of 6 balls for him. Tokyo Ahmed picks up the wicket. He's been a bit erratic this over, and it wasn't really a classic fast bowler's wicket, but the credit here, and you would know better than most, has got to go to Abdul Hashmi, the wicket-keeper.
Made good ground, good footwork. Here's the rut.
Corey Rupp is facing up, gets a single, gets off strike. By his own admission, he's not been in the best batting nick, so I think he'll be pleased just to get one, get up the other end. Have a look. For those who would prefer the more formal Corey Rutgers, but Netherlands head coach who's worked closely with him as an analyst in the camp for a couple of
one of my
years.
favourite players.
Fletcher facing up now. And Fletcher's got this all wrong, and Hashmi is with the sharp work again. And eventually they do get through for the single. Zishan Shah attempts an atrocious throw, It is Calypso Chaos Comedy Cricket. I think eventually the scoreboard will just say single from the various scoring team away to our right, and it will look like it was perfectly innocuous.
Yeah, well, a bit happening there. Pearce diving back in.
Very wide stance from Corey Rutgers, and whose hometown is Perth in Western Australia. Professional cricket coach. Said his highlight was bowling Peter Saylor in a round match 3 years ago. Right to Rutgers. Full toss, and that is going to go. You're not going to get away with that here at the ECL. Not with these boundaries. Not happening.
No. Full toss on leg stump. Dealt with nicely.
Takir Ahmed, who was very impressive in the first couple of games for Svanholm, has just lost his rhythm here. Can he exit this over well? This has gone out. Could be a catching chance. Plugs instead. Fielded by Jonas Henriksen, who...
getting them dirty.
Well, Jonas Henriksen desperate to contribute because, as he jokingly told me, he said at the moment only forgotten of the Henriksen brothers, and he said it's up to me to change that. Got a duck off 3 balls in the first game, and then not only that, had to sit in the marquees away to our left hand side from the Kursiath end and watch his brother go in and finish it off and hit the winning runs and collect the man of the match as well. Those are those marquees which the VOC Rotterdam boys are in right now. And this is something we'll be talking about tomorrow, because our plan is to get Corey Rutgers up here. They'll have 4 or 5 batsmen normally padded up at the same time. Fletcher down the ground. They don't now because they're already 6 wickets down, but trying for a second. This could be tie. Ashby knows it's not out. Keeper's reaction always good to go. They would say 1 down or none down. Was explaining that they'd have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 all padded up. It's the opposite of a set batting order. It's about looking at the analytics of who plays spin well, who plays medium pace well, who plays pace, authentic pace well. And if a wicket fell on the first ball of the over to a spinner, then the guy that would step out wouldn't necessarily be the next guy on the batting card. Fletcher down the ground, powerful, pick the man out low. I think it has been taken. It was just such a non-celebration from James Fennick. There was a hand in the air to the umpire as if to say, yep, I did catch it, honest governor. And that was it. Signal from Mohamed Adnan to VOC Rotterdam to get on with getting the next batsman out to the middle. Here's Fletcher gone for an entertaining 23 off 12, which was about similarly entertaining to a stint in the commentary box. Relatively brief.
Very good.
Pretty fun.
Yeah. He hits something he'll talk about. It's a nice catch, take it very nice, down low. What can Rutgers do for these last few balls?
James Fennick with the fine work. Zishan Khan, the specialist death bowler, on. It's been worked away and over that gap at cover point. 2 fielders converge to fetch it. Zishan Khan, normally the go-to death bowler for Svanholm. He was raised on tape ball cricket of Pakistani roots, known for his late swing. We've seen him finish off innings very impressively for Svanholm with the ball in the first couple of games, but a bit of tap there off the outside edge. To Rutgers, who's tried the spectacular, and this is towards us in the commentary box. Well, Corey Rutgers has been talking himself down as a batsman, but he's just casually scooped that for 6, as you do.
Oh, the Rut, we love him. Look at it. He's an angry little man on the field too. He's an angry little man.
You can guarantee we'll be hearing more about this. Look at that, Corey Rutgers.
Oh, it's a beauty. That'll be on social media, all over his social media. Don't worry about that.
It's interesting you say that. As he goes again, Corey Rutgers. Oh, ho, ho, ho. 2 in 2. Scoops it back over the wicket-keeper's head and then crashes it over Long On's head.
And I'll tell you what he's doing.
Wow.
He's talking into the stump mics to make sure I'm listening.
Wow. I'm going to turn my stump mic up then just to make sure I'm catching all of this. Are you able to reveal what he said?
I know his family and friends in England and his fellas back in WA are listening.
Last ball of the innings. Rutgers again. Goes again on the ramp and hits that for 6-2. 6, 6, 6. scooped over the bowler's head, crashed back down the ground, and then scooped once more. And Corey Rutgers just puts his hands out as if to say, gladiatorial style, are you not entertained? There you go. Goodness gracious me, Zishan Khan gets all of the tap, gets his figures absolutely destroyed, and Corey Rutgers ends this innings in an absolute sea of sixes. 29 off 7 balls for him, 2 4s and 3 6s. 26 of those 29 coming in boundaries. Goodness gracious me.
It was entertaining, wasn't it? They were in trouble and they needed a real ignition at the back end after losing lots of wickets all the way down through the innings. And he's finished the innings off in most spectacular fashion.
And what a difference that can make to the morale of those Svanholm boys, because they've bowled and fielded for the most part really well, and they're probably coming off thinking that after that late surge they're chasing about 10 or 15 more than they probably thought they were going to have to.
Yeah, 134 is going to be the target, and then we have a look at there. Let's have a look. Corey Rutgers 29 of just 7 balls, an absolute beaut of an innings.
Schoenheim contributing, Pierce Fletcher contributing, but this will be remembered for that finish from Corey Rutgers, 6-6-6, and not only 6-6-6, the way that he did it. And I imagine the Netherlands head coach who is with me and has used him as an analyst before, he's already shaking his head because it's dawning on him that he's never going to hear the end
I
of
am
this.
never going to hear the end of it. I'm going to be reminded, I'm going to be bombarded with tweets and Instagram things, just those images.
It's interesting you say that, because Corey Rutgers followed me back on Twitter, and you'd said that he was so prolific on social media, so I went to look at his Twitter profile. He hasn't actually tweeted for about 6 weeks. I can imagine that might be changing when we tweet out this highlights package.
You're the social media king. Does Tinder count as social media?
I wouldn't say so, no. I mean,
because he's very good on that. I know that.
when we say social, I don't think we mean it in that sort of a context. 133 for 7 for VOC Rotterdam. And so Svanholm have got a steep chase of 134 to win, which I think it's fair to say is above par. This is what happens. So look at